It's 5 a.m. or maybe earlier, and the day has already started. Parents are tired, they're not ready to be awake, and there's a strong temptation to try and fix it in that moment. But early mornings aren't really solved at 5 a.m, they're managed. I'm Lyndsey, co-founder of the Holistic Sleep Coaching Programme, where we train professionals to understand child and infant sleep through biology, development and behaviour, not rigid routines or unrealistic expectations. In the previous videos, we've looked at why early waking happens, why 5 a.m. is such a common time. In this video, we're focusing on something more practical, what to actually do when those early mornings keep happening. And by the way, I get it. My eldest child was a very early riser with low sleep needs, and I zombied my way through a good few years of early rising. I know what it's like to stagger downstairs searching for coffee. I also know that this is a huge reason why parents get in touch with a sleep coach. The first step is often the hardest. If it's already 5 a.m. and a child is bright and bubbly and ready to go, there is nothing you can do about it in the moment. Sure, you can try and figure out if there is an underlying reason, but the strategies you implement won't work for right now. So parents need some coping hacks for today, not just a plan to prevent this happening tomorrow. The first hack is not a technique. It's an adjustment in expectation, because if a child is waking at a time that is biologically reasonable, even if it feels early, then the goal may not be to eliminate it completely. It may be to make it more manageable. That shift alone can reduce a lot of frustration. Acceptance is less mentally draining than resentment. Trust me. This is one of the most important and overlooked pieces. If mornings are starting early, sleep has to be protected somewhere else. That might look like going to bed earlier, even if that means less evening downtime. Swapping mornings with a partner, if that's an option. Letting the earlier rising parent take that shift, because trying to push through on reduced sleep rarely works long term. And this is where many parents end up completely exhausted. If nights are broken and mornings are early, daytime becomes part of the solution. Where possible, you could recommend that parents rest during the day, nap when the baby naps, even occasionally, lower expectations of productivity, not as a long-term plan, but as a way to protect energy during those more intense phases. Light is one of the most powerful tools we have. If early waking is happening and you're working with it, get outside early in the day, expose yourself and your child to natural morning light. This helps support alertness and rhythm. Then in the evening, dim the lights earlier, reduce stimulation. That helps support an earlier wind down. If you're trying to gently shift mornings later, you can experiment with the opposite. Keep evenings a little brighter for longer, delay bedtime slightly, gradually move the whole rhythm later. But this needs to be done gently and consistently. If early waking is being driven by timing, you could try gradually moving bedtime later, shifting naps slightly later in the day, reducing total daytime sleep if it's high. But the key here is small adjustments, not big jumps, because big changes often backfire. The early morning is when sleep is lightest, so small things can make a big difference. It's worth checking, is the room too cold or too warm? Is light creeping in? Is the nappy becoming uncomfortable or leaking? Are there any external noises? Simple adjustments like blackout blinds, slight temperature tweaks, a well-fitted nappy, or gentle background noise can sometimes reduce unnecessary waking. In the moment, there are a few options, and it doesn't have to be all or nothing. Depending on the situation, keep things low stimulation if you're trying to resettle, offer comfort or feeding if needed, or accept the start of the day and shift into a calm, low-demand morning. There isn't one correct response. The best response is the one that works for the child and protects the parent's capacity. This is where flexibility really matters. Trying to force a perfect schedule or stick rigidly to what used to work often makes early waking feel harder, because sleep is changing and the response has to change with it. Early waking is rarely about one single thing. It's usually a combination of biology, timing, environment, development, which means the solution is rarely one single fix. It's small adjustments across the whole picture. So early mornings aren't always something that can be eliminated, but they can be understood, they can be adjusted, and most importantly, they can be made more manageable. If this series has helped make sense of early waking, you can go back and watch the earlier videos where we break down why early waking happens, why 5 a.m. is so common, and how timing and sleep needs play into it. Because when you understand the pattern, it becomes much easier to work with it rather than fight against it.